President Trump threatened invoking the Insurrection Act today in the Truth Social post. I'm wondering what his tipping point is. Like, what would it take for him to invoke the Insurrection Act?
Good question.
Look, that's only a question, frankly, Reagan, the president can answer. But the Insurrection Act is a tool at the president's disposal. As you know, it has been used sparingly, but it has been used by previous presidents in American history. And I think the president's Truth Social post spoke very loud and clear to Democrats across this country, elected officials who are using their platforms to encourage violence against federal law enforcement officers, who are encouraging left-wing agitators to unlawfully obstruct legitimate law enforcement operations. And if you talk to any law enforcement officer, no matter what level they work at, they want to be working with their counterparts, whether that's at the federal level or the federal authorities wanting to work with their counterparts at the state and local level. And it's truly shameful that now for more than a year, you've had elected Democrat governors and mayors who have basically held their state and local law enforcement hostage and told them, you cannot cooperate with federal law enforcement. Why? They cooperated under the Biden administration. It's because these Democrats are deranged in their hatred for President Trump, and they are holding their state and local law enforcement hostage as a result. And these Democrat mayors and governors are doing this over what? Over the lawful and legitimate law enforcement operations to remove violent criminals from the streets of Minnesota, from the streets of California, from the streets of New York, and from the streets of every state across this country. And you don't see these riots and this vandalism taking place in states like Florida. Why? Because you have a governor in that state who has empowered federal and local authorities to work together.
DeSantis.
And it's despicable what we're seeing from these Democrat politicians, especially in sanctuary states and cities across the country.
And I mean, she makes a great point. I mean, when in the Biden administration, when he was allowing open borders and all these people to rush into America, did we see people on the right out here on these streets going crazy, inciting violence, even protesting? We weren't even out there peacefully protesting. We said, okay, you know what? President Biden so-called won the election. He is the president for 4 years. We have to put up with his bullshit for 4 years. And we did. And look where it got us. We're like, we need to bring back Trump because Biden screwed it all up. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. We don't just go from Trump, Biden, and then Trump. If people loved Biden so damn much, why didn't we re-elect him? He lost. He was too old. All these excuses. Oh, let's put in Kamala Harris. She's good. No, she was worse.
President Trump is threatening to send federal troops to Minnesota.
Within just the last hour, the president posted this on Truth Social saying, quote, if the corrupt politicians in Minnesota don't obey the law and stop the professional agitators and insurrectionists from attacking the patriots of ICE who are only trying to do their job, I will institute the Insurrection Act. Trump goes on to say that, quote, that would quickly put an end to the travesty that is taking place in that once great state. Now, typically this act invoked at the request of a governor. This would, of course, be the opposite.
Last week, after Renee Good was shot and killed by an ICE officer in Minneapolis, Governor Tim Walz saying invoking this act was the president's plan the entire time and urged Minnesotans to protest peacefully.
Don't take the bait. Do not take the bait. Do not allow them to deploy federal troops into here. Do not allow them to invoke the Insurrection Act. Do not allow them to declare martial law. Do not allow them to lie about the security and the decency of this state.
The Insurrection Act of 1807 gives the president power to deploy the U.S. military, both active duty troops and the National Guard, to a domestic location in order to stop civil disorder, insurrection, or a rebellion against a federal or state authority.
Now, with all the videos that have been going on already with so many civilians interfering with law enforcement and inciting violence and even injuring ICE agents, I am actually surprised that President Trump didn't say this a lot sooner, and this, the guard hasn't been, sent there right away. But this has been giving President Trump is giving so many people the opportunity to do the right thing. He told the world that he was going to have the largest mass deportation in the history of the United States. What does that entail? Sending ICE agents to go look for these people that do not want to self-deport. And now you have U.S. citizens that are getting their feelings hurt because their neighbors are getting kidnapped. They're kidnapping all these people. They're not getting kidnapped. They're getting put in cuffs and sent to jail for the crimes they have committed that they basically have been evading for many, many years, depending on how long they've been in this country, and along with all the other crimes that they've had. Now, there's been so many stories out there of all these people that have been busted that are illegal immigrants. It's not just them crossing the border. It's the history of crimes and times they've been in and out of jail, pedophilia, robbery, murder, all these different things that were basically getting, loopholed through the Biden administration. And now we have an administration now that is all about the rule of law. And that's something we definitely need in this country with the way crime is. I mean, even the purpose of catching criminals is causing these idiots, U.S. citizens, to commit crimes.
Meantime, Minneapolis leaders once again pleading for calm after another person was shot and injured by an ICE agent. That happened last night in the Hawthorne neighborhood of Minneapolis in the north side after federal officials say the agent was, quote, ambushed.
And the shooting prompting even more protests late into the night. And Bill Keller joins us now live in Minneapolis with what we know about this developing story and new information. Bill, good morning.
Good morning. Well, that shooting certainly triggering a tense and chaotic scene in Minneapolis following another violent confrontation involving ICE agents. Last night's shooting happened really in a residential area. This is a neighborhood near Lyndale and 24th on the city's near north side. According to Homeland Security, ICE agents were conducting a traffic stop around 7 p.m. last night. They were targeting a man from Venezuela. They say was living in the U.S. illegally. They say he drove off, eventually crashing a parked car before running off on foot. DHS says that a federal officer tried to arrest the man, but he resisted, attacking that officer. Officials say there were two other people that came out of a nearby home also assaulting the officer. They used a shovel and a broom handle, we're told. That's when the agent opened.
See, this is what I'm saying, because they know who they're going after. They're not just getting random people at random times, where you see some videos online showing this. But most of the time, these officers are actively looking and know where to go to find these people. If you're a U.S. citizen, why are you driving away? Why are you resisting? Knowing damn well if you're legally here, why fight? He chose to drive away, and then two people from nearby homes start attacking officers. This is getting out of hand, and honestly, I'm calling for the National Guard to get sent here to Minneapolis. I believe everywhere ICE goes, the National Guard should be activated in that state to basically combat these stupid people that are willing to literally put their lives at stake defending criminals.
Fire striking the man in the leg. All three ran inside. We're told that the suspect was eventually taken to the hospital and is expected to recover. The two other alleged attackers were taken into custody. As for the officer who opened fire, he was also taken to the hospital and treated. Again, that's the information we're getting from Homeland Security. City leaders holding a news conference late last night to address the shooting.
American citizens, by the way, many of them, are terrified because American citizens are getting picked up off the street by people in masks. That's not the way things should be conducted in any city in America.
Mayor dipshit, can you name us which U.S. citizen was getting taken? We need a first and last name so we can investigate this. If you're going to spit out some bullshit like that, we need to hear the truth. I need a first and last name of which U.S. citizen is being taken by ICE. Stop coming up here on these news outlets thinking that you're trying to save the world when you're actually making Minnesota look like garbage. The whole entire state is looking like garbage because of this mayor of Minneapolis specifically. You are representing not just your city, you're representing the entire state. And you're coming out with this BS? This guy is a complete joke. We need to look this idiot up. Jacob Fry. Okay, so he's a member of the Minnesota Democratic Farmer Labor Party. What? I don't even know what the hell that is. Born and raised North Virginia, attended college, track and field, attended law school. That should be questionable. Frey was a distant runner. Okay, he loves to run. So what? After law school, he moved to Minneapolis where he worked as employment discrimination and civil rights lawyer before entering politics. Damn, he should have stayed out of politics.
That's not who we are. That's not America. So I'm calling for peace. Everybody has a role in achieving that peace.
Well,
in order to
minutes
get peace,
after
we gotta
the
get these
shooting
criminals
happened,
out.
protesters began gathering at the scene.
Duh.
Minneapolis police say demonstrations then turned violent. They say people were throwing fireworks, rocks, ice chunks at both police and federal agents. Officers eventually used tear gas to try and disperse the crowd. And during that chaos, one man tells us that ICE agents targeted his vehicle. While his 6 young kids were inside, he says there was a flashbang that was powerful enough to set off his airbags.
Officers threw flashbangs and tear gas in my car and made I got 6 kids in the car. But my 6-month-old can't even breathe. My 2-year-old then flipped out the damn car. This was flipped over. My car full of tear gas. I'm trying to pull my kid out the car.
Why the hell are you there, you dipshit? Why are you there? You have kids and you're taking them out there being part of this nonsense. What are you teaching these kids? And this is how they get groomed into hating law enforcement as they grow up. And then people try to wonder, why are people not, really liking law enforcement? Because their parents are ingraining into them that they should be hating law enforcement. And then we're living in a world where people do whatever they want, and you start seeing, why are these kids being bad? Oh, the parents aren't there for them. They're not teaching them right. Instead, they're literally taking them out here trying to combat law enforcement. Get the hell out of there. Why are you there in the first place? If you're a parent out there and you have kids, stepkids, whatever, you have a family, think about that first before you go out there and do something stupid, because it could literally cost your life, and now your family has to go live with somebody else, and it's just another tragedy story we have to hear in America. When this all can be prevented, let law enforcement do their job, stay out of their way, play stupid games, you're going to win your stupid prize. Let me know what you guys think about that in the comments below. Like and subscribe, I would appreciate it. Till next time, peace out everybody. This one's for Charlie.